All right, we are live. A very warm welcome to another episode of Fauza's Diary. If you are looking for something little and yet motivating, then you have stumbled upon the right show. That's the beauty about my diaries. They inspire us, they encourage us, they also make us, get out of our comfort zone and really think and see what else can we do. Joining me today on this conversation is my sister friend, Valerie Alino, all the way from Atlanta. Valerie, she is passionate about life. She is conscious parenting and a spiritual coach. She's also a speaker and a humanitarian. Service. It's all about service. That's what I feel here. Valerie, thank you so much for taking your time to join me on this conversation on Fauza Diaries.
Thank you,
Welcome.
Fausa.
I know
Thank
it's
you
so
so
early
much.
for you. Oh my gosh, I should even have said good morning.
I'm so happy to be here with you, and I don't even feel the time when I'm with you. And I'm just so honored and grateful to be in this space and connect with you and your audience for whatever this space might bring. So thank you so much.
Thank you for your time, sweetheart. I always believe that God brings people in our life for different kind of reasons. And when I met you during the Global Women Summit in 2020, that was really powerful. I could just feel your authenticity. I could just feel your realness. I could just feel you as Valerie, not with the titles and all the other things that we acquire and humanly given. So I'm just grateful that our paths have crossed. I know it's very early for you. I hope you got your a cup of coffee.
Going to after I see you.
Yes, so yeah, and I'm just happy that you've taken time so that we can have this conversation, Valerie. And I'm just curious because service for many people, service doesn't really seem easy. It looks really difficult, and there are many times where you will have to have spent your own dollars to get things done and all that. Helping another person, and also it's not even about that. It's also the time consuming. But you are really in service. You have purely dedicated your life to serve others. Why did you choose this career path, Valerie?
Beautiful questions. Thank you so much, Fausa. Well, I've been blessed be to have a family of service, to be honest.
Okay.
So I know that a lot of people have that within their heart, but it definitely had an impact for me,
Mm-hmm.
being with my family that I was born with. And my
Mm.
grandfather was a general from the Mexican Revolution, and he fought to get the land back to the poor that the lands were taking from them. And so he
Yeah.
dedicated his life and risked his life for this purpose. He became a holistic doctor at a late age. I mean, just reading books. He never went to school for it. He was able to cure
Mm-hmm.
from his heart. And so my mother saw all this. And as soon as we were born, my siblings and I, from a very early age, I mean, I have all my memories. Every single weekend, we would do service every single
Mm.
Christmas, and it just became part of our DNA. So that has been passed on through generations, and I can't fathom to have a life without that. And even when
Wow.
you don't look for it, because I know a lot of people are like, I reached that point in life that I want to do something greater, and that is okay too. And
Mm-hmm.
you will find it, and anyone who is listening to this beautiful interview, I know they will be inspired after we have this conversation, because literally service can transform and cure and just transform your world in such a way that you can't even put into words.
Mm.
There's never a time where you can say, well, you're not okay to serve, because there's this thing that people say, you can't serve unless you are healed. But from my experience, it has been the other way around. When I have been the most broken is where I have learned my deepest lessons in life.
Mm.
And that's what, when you serve, you find a purpose, you feel useful, you end up receiving so much than what you put out there. So then you just
Absolutely.
can't stop, because it's
Hmm.
just a beautiful synergy that happens when you do this work.
I love that. I really believe in service. I believe when you serve others, you're not even serving them, you are serving yourself. And
Yes.
it brings so much joy, really, so much joy, purely. I love what you say, it's you don't even feel it. You just wanna keep doing it. That is really powerful. Service brings significance. What do you enjoy most about about you being a humanitarian, a philanthropist? What do you enjoy most about your job?
Well, I want to say that when I'm with people, as
Mm.
you were mentioning before we started our interview,
Yeah.
the authenticity of the people. People are at their most vulnerable time. They are at, or their heart is raw, is on the table.
Mm-hmm.
They, especially, I guess my mission, just the way God has put me, has been a lot with families with children with chronic illnesses.
Mm.
Now I'm in an organization with homeless. So, when somebody's in so much pain and so much ache, and you show up, and there's this like spark, this magic that happens between your heart and theirs, because you don't know who's helping more, the
Mm, that's
receiver
right.
or the giver. It just happens that way. It every single time. It surprises me. Well, now at this point, it doesn't. I'm just so blessed when you have a person that is quote unquote so broken, and how they are able to lift you up. And this is one message that I want to leave here, if you allow me,
Mm-hmm.
that we should. I want to invite people to never judge, because the most broken, that person that has tattoos all in their face that we judge because they're having what kind of life to do that to their body, or to be doing drugs, or to be living in the streets, or to be doing this and that. These are the people that, for me and my experience, have lifted me with words and actions way more than some person that has all their life together, and that they're have a career and they have a house. So never underestimate the power of someone's heart. Never.
Wow.
Because our hearts don't have categories. Hearts don't have status.
No,
Hearts don't
absolutely.
have nothing. So
Absolutely.
this is what this work is about. Just the connectivity with the heart. And you don't need to even put your hand on somebody's heart. It just, when you are in that state of openness, oneness, and just allowing yourself to be guided to where
Mm.
you need to be. What is your daily prayer? What is our daily mantra?
Mm.
Thank you, gratitude. Use me as a vessel of love. This is actually mine. Use me as a vessel of love, to connect, to shine, to share my love and light with as many people as I can. And so it is. So maybe invite our guests, our people who will share
Mm-hmm.
this footage, or just listen to it,
Mm.
that it just takes 1 millisecond to get yourself centered, and you decide how you want to start your day.
That is powerful. But you see, Valerie, it takes humility. It takes humility to see the other person the way God sees them. We often, human beings, look to the outer shell, right? But God doesn't see the outer shell. God sees the heart. He's not even interested in how I look cute outside. I mean,
Mm.
it's good. He says, I see my child there. But I think always believe that God deals with the heart. He wants the heart. But when we see other people and we put a label on them, we judge them, we limit them. We limit what God can actually do through that person. That is
Absolutely.
powerful. that is really powerful, and it has really touched my heart. Oh, forgive us if we judge others. Forgive us, Lord, if we judge others. Yeah, but I know, with service sometimes still has its ups and downs, Valerie. What has been a surprise for you being a humanitarian?
The blessings and the co-creations that can happen, that there's no limit to create something beautiful
Mm,
when you are in that space,
mm,
in the least in the place of most despair and brokenness and fear and doubt. What beautiful creations can happen from that, from just my favorite little quote, let go and let God, to be there, to show up, to look at people's eyes, and to just say, I believe, and we are doing it, and we are making it, and see what happens from 0 to 1,000 by just the power of love. That
mm,
has been amazing. I mean, I've had experiences after experiences around this when you're like, how are we going to raise $15,000 to get this person on a list for a donor of an organ? The person is like, well, it's impossible. And like, and it's getting into that space
mm,
to create that,
mm,
and how the people show up. It happened also. We had a horrible earthquake a couple of years ago in Mexico, and I was here, and it took me 12 hours to get on a plane and go serve and raise $10,000 in overnight. It's how you communicate, how you inspire, from what place are you speaking?
mm,
And then to bring these testimonials of those people that helped you, because we are just a vessel. We are
mhm,
just putting the stepping stones to bring others to hold our hands and make a bigger light in this universe. We can't do it alone. It's not about Val. It's not about Fausa. And actually, I use my word as Val. So it's funny I left the name Valerie, but um, as Val or Fausa, it is not that. It is
No,
knowing
it's not
that.
about us, honey. It's not about us.
Exactly. So it just, for me, it the space that happens is like magic. As closest as I can tell you, as magic. Like when you're in a magic show and you see these things and you're like, wow,
Mm,
what just happened? This is this path. This is this path.
mm. I love that, Valerie. And I see you are a vessel, and you are just like, I'm here, use me. Pour in me. Use me. How do
Mhm.
you stay because serving it, you need to be filled. Your cup needs to be running over for you to be able to pour to other people. How do you stay filled up?
Yes and no. It has to be filled up, but it also, when the cup is low,
Okay,
then this work fills it up.
I love that.
So there's two perspectives always, right? And
Mm-hmm.
it's just, it all happens depending on the emotional state of being where that person is at that moment of service,
Mm-hmm.
or when you're doing whatever you're doing in your life.
Mm-hmm.
So I have this analogy that maybe some of our friends that will listen to this have heard before, but I love it. It really puts into perspective. So let's think of a bride that's soon to get married and has worked her entire year to make this day the most beautiful one.
Yeah,
And it's an outdoor wedding,
yeah,
and it pours rain that day, like horrible rain. It's just, and she's devastated. She says it's the worst day of my life. But
yeah,
just 5 blocks down, there is a farmer who has been praying for this rain, and for him is the best day of his life. And
yeah.
he feels, so when you're asking me, sometimes I am feeling all, wow, this is a day and I'm going to do this and that. But I have also gone to cook meals for the homeless with this organization that I belong to, Food for Lives, where
Mm-hmm.
I've had braces in both of my hands and I have an excruciating pain. And when I'm there, literally, when I'm telling you it's magic, it's magic. You forget about your pains and aches because you have a
You forget about your
yes,
issues and you put the other person now in your shoes. And
yes,
that's where the energy comes from, isn't it?
absolutely. And this is what's gotten me to be the coach that I am as a life conscious parenting and spiritual coach. I mean, I've put studies to it, but it's a life journey.
Mm-hmm.
And unite that with my own life situations that have
Mm-hmm.
been I've had, quite a few rebirths, just like I know many of the people that are listening to this recording. We
Mm-hmm.
all There's not one single person that has the perfect life. And who wants a
Oh,
perfect
and
life
if you are
anyway?
out there watching without no issues, then we are happy for you. But Val and me, oh, we've got some issues that we have dealt with.
Exactly, my love. And the way it's coming this to me to share with all of our audience is these brokenness and
Yes.
these hardship moments are the best ones. Are the best ones. When you cannot see clearly anymore, when you can't even put your foot down straight, when you feel so weak, so wounded, so sad, so fearful, that is where you can only rise and where you can transform all that and make something incredible. Now, the trick to this, Pausa, is not just to keep this to yourself, that
Mm,
as you go and find the source, these answers, to spread them, to share them, to lift others up. We cannot stay with this wisdom or these experiences. We can't. This is not what we are here for.
absolutely. I love that. I love that. Valerie, if you were not a humanitarian, what would you be doing instead if there was anything at all?
It's a really tough question because I do not see my life without this aspect of my life. I really don't. I really don't. I wouldn't change anything that I'm doing. What my speaking to people, empowering people, because I also teach people how to speak, how to empower themselves, giving
Mm-hmm.
the people their voice. And as a Harry Sardinas, my dear friend who you met at our
Yes,
Global
I
Women
met her.
Empowerment
Yes,
Summit,
yeah.
he says your voice can transform the world. So what I would be doing is exactly what I'm doing. I wouldn't change anything. I don't have anything in my agenda that I said, oh, I wish I would have or could have. And this is maybe the message for all our people, love, that to no matter if anybody tells you it's the right or wrong career, if you're gonna be broke because this is an uncertain, being a
Mm-hmm.
coach, a speaker, as you know,
Mm-hmm.
there's ups and downs, but
Mm-hmm.
the the downs are also ups because we're able to tap into an
Yep.
opportunity to rise and shine. And so
Yep.
we're more and more, there are less downs. And
Mm-hmm.
because we're maintaining our energy and vibration where it needs to be. And the universe feels that and it contributes to you even before you manifest. There's this time in life where you don't even need to manifest. As long as you are centered, grateful, and are acting with accordance of divine laws and acting upon the way you would like to be treated, that's it. The
Yep.
rest is history.
Yep.
So I don't wish to be doing anything else. I always open a space that if I should be doing something else, I'm also ready to receive it. Because we don't also want to close and say, really just define yourself, because then you lose the spark of that openness to let yourself be surprised.
Yes.
I learned new traits and skills during this pandemic, logged in lockdown. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know that I could really, really, really inspire and help people connect to their story and teach these courses that are actually called Speak, Connect, and Grow, and see
Mm-hmm.
the results around it. I
Mm.
did not know. And I was in lockdown with some friends that didn't know they could be artists and were painting beautiful things,
Yeah.
and one that didn't know who could play an instrument. So what is it about your life, whoever's listening to us right now? What
Mm-hmm.
is it about your life that you haven't tapped in to the incredible source that you are?
That
And
is
what would it take for this moment to create that?
that is powerful question. That is powerful. And I really hope that they will go within and go deeper to really search and see what is it that it's still untapped in 2021, that they can tap into it and really be vulnerable, be authentic, and just be a vessel for God to use them.
Absolutely. And us, my love, and us.
Mm.
And us, like, I want to open the space for every single one. Us that
Mm.
we're in the camera, and anybody that he's hearing or will share.
Mm.
Because once you get into that space that you feel it,
Mm.
and even if the whole world is against it and has an opinion about it, as long as your heart is pumping blood faster than before, you're getting chills and you feel it inside your heart and your gut, and everything inside of you is telling you to do it, do not let anyone get in the way.
Do it. Just do
Yes,
it.
absolutely. Just like
Val.
me coming to Dubai, that was an impossible. When I told my friends and family, they're like, "What?
Oh,
You've been in lockdown 8 months and you're going to Dubai?" Yes, I'm going to Dubai. How are you going to do that? I don't know right
but I'm
now,
going.
but
I'm going.
yes, I'm going. And because I felt it, I knew it. And look at the magic. I found you.
Yeah, we met each other. Yes, that's right. That is powerful. I think it's really listening to the inner power that is really in us. So for all of us, everybody has it, honestly. And just be honest and be truthful to yourself, as what Valerie is telling us. What would be your advice? Let me put it this way. What would be your advice to your younger self
Hmm.
and to another young girl or even another woman, watching us? Because you see, the danger of our times is that we regret, and we're like, I wish, or what if, and it's because of the fear that we have based on how we've grown up, how we've been raised. There is so much that, we get in life that sometimes it really stops us. What would be your advice to your younger self and to another person, including me, watching us right now, Val?
So I'm gonna have to get into that momentum, and perhaps just close my eyes to visualize small children, and what I and including myself,
Yeah, and me.
seeing, yes, and see you and all our beautiful audience there. And it's just to tap into the beauty and the gratefulness that we are created by God's hand. And just being a creation of divine, we come with gifts and talents and traits and beautiful energy to be able to be our true selves,
Hmm.
and to be able to just trust that everything is already instilled in you, to be able to have no fear. And if you do have fear, it's okay. And go and search for help, to never keep inside what is hurting you, to never feel ashamed, to never feel blame, because these hurts and pains, when you don't speak up, they
Hmm.
haunt you in the long run.
Hmm.
That you know that there are people around you that can support you through this journey, and
Mm.
just to be authentic and continue to be the true child with the gifts that you are giving, which is playful,
Mm.
joyful,
Mm.
grateful,
Mm.
allowing yourself to be mesmerized by life, how
Hmm.
you can appreciate the littlest things, because children do that, and we as children, we can forget that. So just being able to always remember that a smile
Hmm.
can shift the day, the life of
Hmm.
somebody. So keeping
Absolutely.
that genuine early childhood gifts and experiences that you have, and store them inside of you, and
Hmm.
just build upon those experiences to pass on this wisdom that we are granted as children,
Mm.
of just fully trusting that Life is not for surrendering and suffering. Life is to be lived like a child, joyous, happy, grateful, and fun.
I love that. Life is to be lived. I love that. It is
Yeah.
not for suffering. Life is to be lived. Well, I am going to, I don't know, I have no words to put it all together, but I am just thankful that we are actually stepping in 2021 full of inspiration, full of gratitude, full of thanksgiving, full of life to live it. Thank you so much, Valerie, for joining me and for sharing your wisdom with all of us because really, it's so easy to forget. Oh my gosh, it's so easy to forget. So thank you for that reminder. And for you, my viewers, I would encourage you, actually, if you haven't gotten a copy of Transform Fear to Freedom, I would encourage you to do so with the link below. It's similar concept to what Valerie is actually talking about. If you haven't read Rising from the Dust, you can as well get it with the link below and be inspired. That's what Valerie is sharing with us today. Life is for living, not just suffering. Follow Valerie on her social media. They are also below this conversation. Share this conversation with other people who they might actually be inspired just the way you have done. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to share. Don't forget to subscribe. And I will see you soon with another inspiring diary just like this one. Be blessed. See you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you, Val. Thank